With the recent increase of racial profiling accusations against law enforcement agencies across the U.S., especially in cases like the shootings of Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, a number of communities are growing increasingly concerned. This past year, another case immediately captured the world's attention when 33 African-American males from a predominantly African-American community in San Diego, California, were arrested and held on multiple charges related to 9 separate shootings. All the defendants are being charged under a relatively unheard of California penal code known as 182.5. It's a gang enhancement code that states that if any documented gang member benefits or profits from the crimes committed by their gang, they too can be held responsible and face significant jail time. Interestingly enough, 2 of these defendants, Aaron Harvey and Brandon Duncun, also known as rapper Tiny Do, have no criminal history, were not involved in the alleged crimes, and are now facing life in prison if convicted. We caught up with Aaron and Brandon as they flew to Oakland, California to meet with community organizers who are committed to helping them fight for their freedom and change the size and shape of racial profiling in the United States.
The case gaining national attention. A local rapper is facing serious felony charges for some of his lyrics.
26-year-old Aaron Harvey didn't believe what law enforcement was telling him when he was arrested in Las Vegas last year.
Life in prison because prosecutors claim his lyrics promote gang violence.
The prosecutors themselves do not say that he had anything to do with those shootings.
When we think of Mumia and some of these great people, they died in jail, right? And they did some great work, but they are dead. And they spent all of their lives not having the opportunity to interact with their families. You have strong families. You have 5 children, right? You know, you have 5 children. You know, your children don't want to hear my daddy's in jail on principle.
How you doing, man? I got your mic open. You there?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. What happened earlier today?
Sat down with Pico today and just talked about, you know, different strategies and stuff that, you know, actions that we could take to, you know, let these people know that we're not going to stand for this.
Tell me about like what a typical day looks like. Just walk me through it. A typical day, what's it like? Are there a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations? What's happening?
It's stressful. Well, first I can't sleep. You know, I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just waiting for the police to just bust in the door and you know, charge me with some bogus charge again. So my sleeping or lack thereof. Sleep. First thing I do when I wake up, I check my emails now. I've never done that ever. So I'm checking emails because I'm getting emails from different organizations that I'm working with, people that just kind of want to get involved. I have speaking engagements and people are inviting me to. So that's the first thing I do. I have about 4 or 5, maybe 6 meetings a day, either with organizations in which we're strategizing on how, you know, not only are we just going to win this case, but how we're going to get Penal Code 182.5 off the books and eventually repeal Proposition 21.
This law has been on the books 15 years. It's never been used before. This is the first time it's been used. So it's going to be used as a model throughout the state and eventually nationwide if this passes, and nobody's safe. So they're going to go after the Latinos later on. They're going to go after the Asians. Eventually they might even go after the whites.
Aaron, if you can, just tell me a little bit about, like, big picture, what happened? Like, explain to me, like, the series of circumstances that happened to you. And
Well, right now, the DA is charging me with 9 counts of conspiracy to shoot him. So I'm being held to answer to that, looking at 56 years to life under a Proposition 21 that was voted in 2000 under Penal Code 182.5 that says that a person can be charged with any crimes that the alleged gang commits, whether he's had knowledge of it or not.
how do you, I mean, at first the situation was about you and about, specific number of incidents, right? And now it seems like there's a bigger picture. Yes. How is it escalated for you? Like,
initially you think it's just me and the guys that's on this case. And as you do more research and more people get involved, you're starting to see that this is a statewide and on a national scale. Like it's way bigger than just me. We're just pawns in the sense in the chess game. We're the test case, and those are exact words from our district attorney, Brian Dumanis, that this is her test case because this penal code has never been used ever in all 58 counties in the state of California. No district attorney has ever used this in all 15 years that it's been on the law books. So this is just another tool for them to be able to go after and criminalize minorities throughout the state.
The evidence against me, the DA says, because of my stops, I'm considered a documented gang member. I never knew I was a documented gang member until I was arrested. Apparently they documented me when I was 18 years old. So I was on the list and I knew nothing about it.
And you had mentioned something before about, not really being a gang member, not knowing that you were a gang member. Tell me about, like, kind of what happened there. And
Well, no, I'm not a gang member. And because of the number of police stops that I have, along with Facebook postings with people and things of that nature, the police have documented me as a gang member. I don't have a criminal record. There's never been any calls of any kind of illegal activities going on regarding me, but just mere stops in my neighborhood. So they documented me as a gang member, and under Penal Code 182.5, they can use that to hold me to crimes that the alleged gang commits that I'm documented from.
what do you think, in the big picture, you're most afraid of? What's the thing that has you afraid the most? Is it life in prison? What is it?
Strangely, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about doing life in prison. Like, I don't want to. I'm scared as hell, but I'm not in fear of that. My biggest fear, more than anything, we actually being convicted, and not only will we be doing life, but now they're going to be able to use this to lock up hundreds of thousands of people. So this is generations that they'll be able to just wipe off. I'm more afraid of that than I am for myself doing life in prison.